This is the Corner Cutter Podcast, episode 35. Hey guys, welcome to the Corner Cutter Podcast, a weekly show all about cubing and how to improve. I'm your host Josh, and you can visit the Corner Cutter Podcast website at thecornercutterpodcast.com. I hope you guys had a great 2 weeks. It's been a busy 2 weeks for me though. Last weekend I had the competition, and just 2 days ago, on Friday, I had a test that I was studying hard for all week. But I passed, so I'm happy about that, and now I can focus on the podcast. If this is your first time listening, thank you so much for checking out the Corner Cutter Podcast. And if you're a regular listener of the podcast, thank you for coming back every week. I do appreciate that. So let's jump right into the competition. It was Mid-Coast Cubing 2018. I had a lot of fun organizing. Let's start off, venue. I used a different venue this time, and it turned out to be pretty good. There were plenty of tables. I was worried at first we weren't going to have enough because they said they would give us about 25. We ended up getting maybe a little closer to 30, and it turned out to be just enough. We were short a few chairs, though, but that was okay. I started setting up early. Setting up tables was the main thing. The delegate arrived at around 7, and the competition started at around 7:55. One funny thing that did happen, though, it was my fault, I guess. On the schedule, I said check-in, which checking in, I guess in my mind, I just thought it would be getting your name tag. I should have been more clear on this, but people started lining up at the scrambling table to check in. They didn't know what to do because 30 out of the 70 competitors, it was their first time there. So I should have been a little more clear about that, and I'll know better for next time. Overall, though, the competition went great. I have some clips that I'll play for you in a little bit, but I'll just finish talking about the organizing side for now, and then I'll jump into how I did. Scorecards, we had a little issue with the scorecards in the morning. For some reason, the generator I used to make them, or it was actually another delegate that made them, it wasn't working right, and we didn't know about that, so there was about a quarter of the scorecards missing from each heat, so that created a little bit of a problem, but we were able to quickly print some more scorecards, and it turned out okay. It just made it a little more difficult. We did have an unofficial event as well, and that was head-to-head. So we did the top 32 3x3 round 1 competitors, so in order, so 1 through 32, and 31 and 32 went head-to-head, 29 and 30. And we did that all the way down to 1. We were going to cut it down to 16, then 8, then 4, then 2. But we ran out of time. And we didn't want to cut out any official event. So all 32 competitors were able to compete. And it was pretty fun. We also had some giveaways. Oh, and by the way, I won head-to-head against the guy I was competing against. So that was fun for me. But before that, we did have some giveaways as well. What I did was I just bought a few cubes. One was a big sail, and a mini Moyu cube, or Mofeng Zhao Shi. I never can type that, so I just call it mini Moyu. But we did some head-to-head for like the 2 closest competitors in 3x3 round 1. Both of them had like a 29.38 average or something like that. So both of them went head-to-head, and the winner got a prize. That was fun. The schedule I made turned out pretty well. We stayed on schedule for the morning. People kind of left, though, around 12 o'clock, but that was fine because lunch started at like 12:15, and we were just finishing up pyramids. We started on time, though, for an official head-to-head. And then after 4x4, I only had 45 minutes for 4x4. I should have had an hour, so we got 15 to 20 minutes behind there, and we stayed like that for the rest of the day. So the events were a little bit rushed, like finals were rushed, so I'll definitely give some more time for events next competition I organize. I talked to a few people there, though, who were interested in organizing competitions, so that's great to see the community growing. Two other things that made this competition exciting are Chris Tran was there. He said he decided to come to this one. It was just a small competition, 70 competitors, because it was the closest one to New York that weekend. There were no other competitions around, which was awesome for me. And I was really happy he came. Also, Saranj Grover, who was featured in episode 28 of the podcast, we talked all about Pyraminx. He got an ASR, so the Asian record average. That was really cool. It was 2.45, and it's also 6th in the world. And I did an interview with him after, which I'll play in a little bit. And also my friend Aiden, who was helping me organize, we did a little organized wrap-up on Skype a few days later. And we recorded a little thing for the podcast, and there was an incident that happened in 3x3 finals, and we talk a little bit about that. And that made us pretty late. Or we got out of the venue late. We were supposed to end at around 6, and we didn't get out until around 7. But we did awards around 6:30-ish, 6:40 maybe, and those went great. But let's get into my results for Midcoast Cubing 2018. I was actually pretty happy with most of the events I did. Let's start out with 3x3. First round, I got a PB single, 11.40. And these are all official, just so I'm clear. And I also got a PB average first round, 15.03. Second round, I got a 12.77 single and a 13.81 average, which I was super happy about. I think that's my biggest accomplishment for this competition. Yeah, I'm definitely most happy with that because that was my first sub 15 average, and I've been wanting a sub 14 or 15 average for a while. And I just kind of always mess up on 3x3. Like the first round, I had a counting 17 and a counting 13. So I kind of just mess up on solves. And then the final round, I got a 17 average, but that was after the incident, and that kind of wrecked my routine, and everybody was talking about that, so that's okay. 2x2, first round, I got a 4.41 average, and second round, or final round, I got a 3.02 single and a 4.27 average, so both PBs. I used CLL and the Wuxia M. Super happy with both of those, and I just wanted a sub 3 single, but didn't get that. And I got 5th place for both the first and final, so that was awesome. 4x4. I didn't practice this as much as I would have liked before Midcoast, and I didn't get to warm up at all. So I got a 53 single, not PB, and a 59 average, which is okay. Sub 1 was fine. I had a counting 102 again, which was not very good. One-handed, there was just a combined final, so I got a 29 single and a 33 average. Not a PB, but 33 average is what I'm averaging, so I'm happy with that. Pyraminx, okay. First round, I was second place. I had a 4.41 average. Second round, I got a 4.43 average. And third round, I got a 4.66 average, and I ended up in 4th place. So I just missed the podium. And I missed the podium by like under 0.1, which, again, I missed winning last year. by that. But at least last competition I won. And organizing, I didn't have much time to warm up, so I'm okay with that. At least I didn't get any +2s or DNFs, which I'm happy about. But I'll definitely continue to practice Pyraminx, and I want to get fast. At it. Scube, first round, I +2'd of 4.42, and I ended up getting a 7.76 average. Final, I got a sub-5 single and a 6.51 average, and I ended up in 4th place, so just missed the podium again. I'm very happy with my times, though, and a sub-7 average was great. So, times-wise, I'm very happy with how I did, and especially with being the organizer, I was busy all day, just running around, scrambling, running. One tip, if you're organizing and you need to sign the certificates, do that the day before. That's what I did, or even earlier, and it saved me a lot of work, so I just had the delegate sign, and those were all fine. So now here are some clips from the competition, as well as my interview or discussion with Aiden. Hey TCCP listeners, we're on our way to Mid-Coast Cubing 2018. I'm warming up for Scube right now by practicing 2x2. The reason I decided to have Scube first in Mid-Coast Cubing is because usually at the first event I don't do as well because I'm not warmed up, and I usually don't have much time to warm up. So on Scube, I don't really care too much about it. It's way better than 3x3, having 3x3. But so I'm doing a little bit of 2x2 in Scube, and we're almost there. I'll give you another update at right before it starts. Hey guys, we are at lunch break right now. I completely forgot to record all morning, so I'll just give a quick rundown on how the morning went. Scube, I got 5th place for the first round and a 7 average. 2x2 5th place with a 4.3 something average. 3x3 a 15.03 average, which beat my PB average by 0.01, but I had a counting 17, so that hurt it. And then for Pyraminx, I got a 4.3 something, which is 2nd place, but there's 3 rounds, so I think I'm good. Anyway, it's lunch now, and I'll check back in soon, I hope. Head-to-head's next. Okay, I have Saranj here. He was featured in episode 28, and he has something to share.
I just got the Asian record for Pyraminx average. I got a 2.45 average, which is 6th in the world and 1st in Asia.
Great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do you think you'll continue practicing Pyraminx a lot?
It wants me to, this average makes me want to practice more, but it also makes me want to do other events just because for the longest time my goal was getting top 10 in the world, and now that I have it, I feel like I can relax much more in this event and practice more events.
Do you think you have a chance at the world record single? Are you going to keep trying for that?
I mean, the single really depends on luck, so if you get lucky, anyone can get the single. So yeah, maybe. I won't specifically practice for that, but yeah.
Okay, thank you, Saranj.
Thank you.
Okay, we just finished up Pyraminx finals. I made 4th place, so I didn't podium, which is pretty sad. No one broke any of my state records, though, which is nice. So I still have my 3.39 average and 2.96 single. Scrambles for this comp were pretty hard. So I'm actually doing Scube right now. I just got a sub-5. I'll check back in with someone else later. And that's it for the competition clips. My interview or chat with Aiden did not turn out. I didn't have my regular recording set up, and we just kind of did it on the fly, and the audio is horrible. So I will not be having that. That's really too bad, but let's move on to the next segment. Let's jump into a few personal cubing updates. On April 11th, I celebrated 4 years of podcasting. It's kind of hard to believe I've been podcasting for that long, so I started podcasting when I was 12 years old. The first podcast I did is, or guess I can say is because we are still doing it, with my older brother JJ. We host a show called Basscaster Bros, basscasterbros.com. It's all about fishing. Just fishing in general. We kind of focus on bass fishing because that's what we like to do. And we follow the professional tournament trails as well. So it was just fun to celebrate 4 years of podcasting. And now I have this podcast as well, which I very much enjoy doing. And this one has been going for over a year. Dave Jackson, who teaches podcasting at schoolofpodcasting.com, he has a show called the Podcast Rodeo Show, where he listens to a podcast and sees how long he can hold on. So I submitted the Corner Cutter podcast to his show, and he reviewed it and said what he thought about it. And he actually liked it, which I was very happy about. So if you would like to hear what he said about it, I'll have a link in the show notes, thecornercutterpodcast.com. And this is episode 35. One other funny thing that happened is I went in for an orthodontist appointment, and the 2 nurses there saw me doing a Rubik's Cube. They, as usual, they thought it was really cool. And after a little while, they decided they want to learn. So I'll be going back there quite a bit in the next few months, or I guess almost a year. And they said they think they can learn in 8 months. I gave them the website to cubeskills.com. That's where Felix teaches the Rubik's Cube. And hopefully they'll learn. One other funny thing that happened, we were talking with somebody at the grocery store about someone asked us what we did for April vacation. And we said we explained to her about the Rubik's Cube competition, or tried to explain, because it's kind of hard to explain what it's all about. And then she said, "Oh, so that's what you guys were doing, turning squares." So I found that pretty funny. And also, one other thing, Dave Jackson, in his podcast Rodeo Show about reviewing the Corner Cutter podcast, it's pretty funny hearing a non-cuber talk about cubing. So I would suggest you guys go check that out. Again, link in the show notes. Some updates for TCCP. Coming up in a few shows, I am going to have another YouTubers show. I would like to get 2 YouTubers on. And if you're interested, please feel free to email me. I would love to get you on the podcast. The email is feedback@thecornercutterpodcast.com. There are a few qualifications, though, and one of them is you need over 100 subscribers. But if you're interested, please let me know. And you can go back to episode 27, where I had Moonwink Cuber and Ghost Cuber on to see what kind of format we will be doing. Also, I am going to have a controversial cubing topic show. I would like to get 2 people on with different opinions, strong opinions, about a certain cubing topic. I think the first one will be whether you should be color neutral, and the other one we'll do in the same show, it could be the same people, will be about which event or if we should add any events to the WCA. If you would like to come on the podcast to talk about that, please feel free to shoot me an email, feedback@thecornercutterpodcast.com, and we'll get something set up. I have one shout out this week. Jordan wrote a comment on the Kevin Hayes episode on Spreaker. He said, "Thanks, man, for the weekly podcasts. I'm a new cuber, and I'm soaking up all the cubing-related content I can get a hold of. Kevin's interview was especially inspirational. Keep up the good work. You've got a loyal fan here. Thank you, Jordan, for taking the time to write that nice comment. I definitely appreciate it, and thank you for being a fan. Now let's move on to cubing news, records, releases, and ratings. We've got quite a few this week, but I guess this is from 3 weeks, so that could be the reason why there are more, but really not that much. Starting off, 7x7, single and mean were broken by Max Park. He got a 159.89 7x7 single and a 204 mean. Oh man, Kevin Hayes. Max broke Kevin Hayes' 7x7 single by 0.06. This is looking like 4x4. But I'll give you an update on that in a minute. Now, 3x3 with feet. Daniel Rose Levine, he got a 23.69 average. That is awesome. I knew Daniel would get these records by practicing feet so much, and that's great. I'm happy for him. World record single for 5x5, Felix Zemdegs got a 37.93. 4x4 single and average were broken. Sebastian Weir, he got an 1884 single and a 2227 average. That's awesome. A sub 19 single, that's great. It's nice to see 4x4 getting faster. Two other ones. Other big one was Pyramix single was broken. Dominic, I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name, got the world record single 1.19. The scramble was awesome. Timon was also at that competition, but he did a turn-in inspection, so it was a DNF. I'm not sure why that happened. That's really too bad, though, because I bet he could have gotten a lot faster. Maybe sub 1? I'm not sure. I am going to have to try out that scramble. And then an NAR for 3x3, Max Spark got a 5.99 average. So Max is the second person to get a sub 6 average. That was a ton of records. People are getting a lot faster. For some releases, the Cubicle Labs Galaxy V2M was recently released. That is $74.99. My friend Aiden got this cube. He got his PB single, average of 5 and average of 12 in just a few hours after opening the box. That proves it is a good cube. The Chi Xing S and regular black plastic was released, and that's a 7x7. And the Shengshao Legend Pyramix. Shengshao is coming out with quite a variety of cheaper puzzles, but these are definitely more for the beginner cuber. The Cubicle also has the Cubicle Labs Little Magic M and the Cubicle GAN 249M. Also, there's a new thread on speed solving for upcoming puzzles. It's pretty interesting. I would recommend checking it out. I'll have a link in the show notes as well. But Kevin Hayes is coming out with a new line of 7x7, or line of big cubes from Yushin. As he mentioned it in last week's interview, the first one he's coming out with is a new 7x7. So that will be interesting. Now for ratings, I recently got the X-Man Galaxy V2. Awesome Megamix. I love the smaller size, and you can go check out my review, or I guess unboxing, of this Megamix on my YouTube channel, Corner Cutter, and I'll have the video in the show notes to this episode. I just love the smaller size, and it's quite a bit faster, as well as the corner cutting is good. I haven't had much time, though, to do solves on it, so I'll let you guys know in next non-interview episode how I like it, and I'll definitely be practicing Megaminx more now. Guys, I would really appreciate if you could support the show by using my affiliate links or discount codes when purchasing cubes. Find the whole list of the cube stores I have affiliates with on the website, thecornercutterpodcast.com, on the support page. But just use the promo code CornerCutter to get 5% off your order at The Cubicle and Cube Depot. And then if you're ordering from Speed Cube Shop, please use my link, and then you can use the code CornerCutter to get 5% off your order. But for Speed Cube Shop, you have to make sure to click on the link in order for it to count. Also, I haven't got any emails for the past few weeks. I would love to hear from you. Even if it's a quick email just saying what you like about the Corner Cutter podcast. And I'll make sure to give you a shout out as well on the next episode. You can email feedback at thecornercutterpodcast.com. Well, it's time to take this episode back to the scrambling table. Next week, I'll be talking with Bob Burton, WCA board member, and that will be in episode 36 of the Corner Cutter Podcast. Hey guys, Patrick Ponce and Drew Brads are going to be featured on some of the next episodes, so keep an ear out for that. I'm so happy they agreed to come on the podcast.